This Saturday afternoon matchup brings us a rematch of one of last year's AFC wildcard games, with massive playoff implications lining up. The Houston Texans need a win to punch their ticket to January. There is only one wildcard spot left in the AFC, and it's theirs for the take if they can take care of business. The Los Angeles Chargers are already in the dance, but a win here will set them up for a fight to get the AFC West title against the Broncos next week in Denver. Hello everyone, I am Alec Nava, and this is a matchup between two teams with a bit of some recent history with one another. Houston's defense is full of world beaters at every level, from Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter up front leading the pass rush, to Derek Stingley Jr. and Jalen Petrie overseeing the secondary. The Texans have the league's best unit in both points and yards allowed entering Week 17. But the offense finds themselves stuck in mud too often, ranking 19th in points and yards. CJ Stroud and company managed only 270 yards last week against the Las Vegas Raiders, and one offensive score. The eighth game where they had fewer than 275 total offensive yards. 5 other teams failed to reach that mark in 7+ games. All of them are out of the playoffs. This team can win a Super Bowl because of how tough their defense makes life for opponents, but it won't happen if they don't kick things up on the other side. Against the Chargers defense, it's a tough task. Last year's wildcard game, however, between these two saw a shocking dismantling of the Chargers, with Herbert taking the brunt of the beating. Justin Herbert was taking the brunt of the beating, and the collapse was surreal. And it generated a lot of talking points about Herbert's playoff resume. What can't be called into question is his overall skill and his toughness. He's kept the Chargers rolling along, despite suffering a broken bone on his non-throwing hand in Week 13. He'll have his work cut out for him to keep up the progress, though. Houston's defense is nasty, and LA's offensive line is in tatters due to injury. But it's not like Houston's offensive line is also in tatters due to injury. Both teams are without both of their starting offensive tackles in this game. Herbert's dangerous with his legs, but he's already been running for his life against lesser pass rushing units. If he were to get his revenge, it has to come against a defense that's allowing 16.6 points per game. Start with the Texans on the keys to this game. It's known for a while how good the AFC quarterbacks are. The Texans have beaten all Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and Drake May in the last 3 seasons. Then there's Herbert, who can either get completely overlooked or overhyped with no in between when in the talk among the best AFC quarterbacks. Some mention him as a dark horse MVP candidate, and it's absolutely warranted with the way he's been playing this season. Of a broken left hand, he's carried an offense that lost both Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt for the season, and both Najee Harris and Omarion Hampton for significant stretches of time, Harris for the year. Last year he played cleaner, throwing 3 picks heading into the wild card game, but this year he's thrown 12 interceptions. He has been much more dangerous this season. He's taking off with the ball, using his legs more often. He's still dangerous on every single throw, perhaps even more so when he's on the run or evading the pocket. He's capable of putting up big numbers night in and night out. NRG Stadium may not have been as loud as it was after 2 straight sacks on Herbert in the fourth quarter during the AFC wildcard game. Then on 3rd and forever, he ripped a fastball to then rookie wideout Ladd McConkey for a long touchdown, and the former Georgia Star wideout showed why he was looking to be one of the best rising wideouts in the AFC. He finished that game with 9 catches for 197 yards, and that long catch and run for a touchdown. This season return of Keenan Allen and development of big body Quentin Johnson has bolstered this receiving core. Yet McConkey is the key again. He hasn't been as vital on 3rd downs and in big plays because Allen is a 3rd down monster. But the Chargers certainly go to McConkey around the formation underneath coverage keys. So it's important for the Texans defensive backs to communicate well and make sure McConkey's impact is minimized. That means Derek Stingley Jr., Kamari Lassiter, Jalen Petrie, Kalen Bullock. Those 4 are the primary ones among the defensive backs. Early in training camp, the Chargers lost Rashawn Slater to the year to season-ending injury. Then midway through the season, they lost Joe Alt, who had taken reps at left tackle in Slater's stead for the year. They saw versatile lineman Jamari Salyer leave the game to an injury just recently. He's out for today's game. Now, it's not as if the Texans are fully healthy on the defensive line, but they still have Anderson and Hunter up and ready to go. But getting to Herbert and finishing on him in the backfield are two different things this year. Herbert is quicker to take off and get out of the pocket to avoid sacks. Even with second and or third string offensive tackles, the Texans' edge rushers have to be smart of how they attack Herbert and not leave gaping holes he can exploit. There's winning reps, and then there's finishing the QB. The Texans stars need to do both on Herbert as they did in last year's playoff game. Now for the Chargers, for what to watch of them. Now, so first off, no quarterback faces as much pressure as Herbert, leading the league with 43.7% pressure rate in the NFL. So he was pressured 252 times this season. It's not by design. Offensive tackle has been a position in flux throughout the season ever since Slater and Alt have been lost for the year. The carnage doesn't end there. Additional injuries seemingly reshuffle the Bolts' back ends on a weekly basis. Consequently, he's under constant duress. But he leads the league in QBR, 81, passing yards, 1135, and passing touchdowns, 3, on plays where the defense records a pass rush and win. Against the Texans' pass rush that has Anderson and Hunter in the top 10 sack leaderboard, the Chargers need Herbert to keep that pace that he's been going at this season. Second, it's about shuffling deck chairs with this offensive line. It's been an area to watch on a short week. Al-Shaair left last week's game against the Cowboys with a hamstring injury and didn't practice. Trey Pipkins III, however, was back practicing in full after missing his last 2 games of an ankle injury. He is not carrying an injury designation and is ready to go today. The Bolts have a lot of options at the tackle position, with Pipkins being one of them. He's played 11 games this season, almost entirely at right tackle. This position comes into focus with Houston's defensive line coming to town. The Texans have a strength specifically at the edge position, with Anderson leading the NFL in QB pressures, 87, while Hunter is 5th at 75. They have also combined for 24.5 sacks, 42 QB hits, and 30 tackles for loss. The third key is the next man up mentality for the Chargers. The NFL announced that Denzel Perryman has been suspended for 2 games after getting called for unnecessary roughness on Ryan Flournoy last week. This means Troy Dye will see his defensive role increase and be among the focal points at linebacker next to Deion Henley. Dye has played 14 games, starting 5, logging 55 total tackles, 4 TFLs, a forced fumble, and a sack. Perryman is the team's best run defender at the second level, so Dye will need to fill in admirably both this week and next week if the Chargers are to make a run at the AFC West title. Fourth is Omarion Hampton, which is especially true because Kimani Vidal has been rolled out with a neck injury. Hampton's been ramping his way up into the impact player the Chargers were looking for when they made their first round pick in April, taking 16 carries for 85 yards and a touchdown last week. He has forced a missed tackle on 32.7% of his rushing attempts this season, the only player to hit a mark of over 30% among running backs of at least 100 carries this season. He has allowed only 96.2 rushing yards per game, 4th in the league, but Hampton's ability to churn through tacklers and fight for extra yards could result in critical contributions from him. Let's go on to our starting lines here, beginning with the visiting Houston Texans. Under center is CJ Stroud. The running back is Woody Marks. The outside receivers are Nico Collins and Jaden Higgins. The slot receiver is Christian Kirk. The tight end is Dalton Schultz. The offensive line from left to right, Blake Fisher, Jarrett Patterson, Jake Andrews, Ed Ingram, and Titus Howard. Now on the defense for the Texans. Up front are Sheldon Rankins and Tommy Togiai. The edge rushers are Will Anderson Jr. and Daniil Hunter. The linebackers are Henry To'oTo'o and Azeez Al-Shaair. Outside corners are Derek Stingley Jr. and Kamari Lassiter. The slot corner is Jalen Petrie. The safeties are Miles Bryant and Kalen Bullock. Now for the special teams, Kaimi Fairbairn is the kicker, Tommy Townsend is the punter, Austin Brinkman is the long snapper. The return specialists are Tremon Smith and Jalen Noel. Now for the Chargers, their offense begins with Justin Herbert under center, Omarion Hampton the running back, Quentin Johnson and Keenan Allen the outside receivers, Ladd McConkey taking on the old role that Allen used to have at the slot receiver. Ronde Gadsden II is the tight end, and the offensive line from left to right, Austin DeKillis, Zion Johnson, Bradley Bozeman, Mekhi Becton, and Trey Pipkins III. Now on defense. Up front are Jamari Caldwell and Tier. Up front are Jamari Caldwell as a nose tackle and Tier Tart opposite him, carrying an injury designation with playing for a groin injury. Herbert playing through a hand injury as non-throwing hand. The edge rushers for the Chargers are Tuli Tuipulotu, named to his first Pro Bowl this season, opposite Khalil Mack. The inside linebackers are Troy Dye and Deion Henley. Outside corners are Taib Still and Cam Hart. The slot corner is Derwin James Jr. The deep safety are Elijah Molden and Tony Jefferson. The kicker is Cameron Dicker. The punter is J.K. Scott. Long snappers Josh Harris to begin special teams. And the return specialists are Hassan Haskins. As Darius Davis is out of an ankle injury. And I believe the other return specialist is Cam Hart on that matter. But we're going to expect to see a lot of Haskins on special teams. The head coaches are D'Amico Ryans for the Texans, alongside assistant head coach Danny Barrett, offensive coordinator Nick Caley, defensive coordinator Matt Burke, and special teams coordinator Frank Ross. And for the Chargers, it's Jim Harbaugh being the head coach, offensive coordinator Greg Roman, defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, and special teams coordinator Ryan Ficken. Our referee for today's game is Craig Rolstad. The umpire is Brandon Cruz. Down judge is Danny Short. Line judge is Brett Bergman. Field judge Jeff Shears. Side judge is Frank Sterator. Back judge is Rich Martinez. The replay official is Gavin Anderson. And the replay assistant is Ken Hall. So a lot is on the line here. And with the Texans and Chargers going to war here on today's game this afternoon. Coming up at night is the Green Bay Packers and the Baltimore Ravens. Both starting quarterbacks out for that game on the night. Jordan Love out with a concussion and Lamar Jackson out with a back bruise. It's very hard to play through a back bruise, here's mind you. So now, we're here at SoFi Stadium, which will be the site of Super Bowl 61 next season. This year's Super Bowl is at Levi's Stadium. The San Francisco 49ers look to make it there, despite all the injuries that they face. The Chargers wearing their Supercharger uniforms, those navy blue jerseys, by the way. C.J. Stroud, a Pro Bowler in his rookie season, wanting to recapture that magic that made him the QB of the future. And to lead this offense on the way to a playoff berth. The Los Angeles Chargers win the AFC West by winning out the rest of their schedule. The Texans clinch a playoff berth and keep their AFC South titles hopes alive with a win today. But to clinch the AFC South, they need to not only win this one, but also win next week and get some help from the Jaguars game. Both teams have split the series between one another, with the Jaguars winning the first meeting 17-10, and the Texans winning the second one 36-29. So Justin Herbert, a dark horse MVP candidate, though in fairness, I don't know if anyone's going to catch up to Matthew Stafford for the MVP. It's one of those years where everyone collectively agrees with who is going to be the MVP winner this year. Because Stafford is by far and away the best quarterback this season in the NFL, leading the Los Angeles Rams on all fronts. We're coming back from the holidays. Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa. Happy holidays. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa to all those who observe those holidays. So now, as we're waiting for the opening kickoff, we wonder how things would fare for the Texans, as it's been a battle offensively. A very tough battle. And the Texans, of course, they have had offensive line issues in the Stroud era. Those have not changed ever since the beginning, from David Carr all the way to now. And it still continues onwards. We have a lot of injuries for tomorrow's Raiders versus Giants game, a game in which it's just going to have many draft implications. Bobby Hart is actually the starting left tackle today. I thought it was Austin DeKillis, but Hart has not played left tackle since 2022. Players take things one game at a time and one play at a time. But this game is for a lot more than just one play at a time, one game at a time. This game is the game that everyone has had circled on their calendar heading into this week between Houston and the Chargers fans in LA. The 79 QB pressures for Anderson this season are third most in the NFL. He and Danielle Hunter are by far and away the best edge rushing duo in the entire NFL. Texans in the white jerseys, Chargers in the navy blue uniforms. LA won the coin toss. They have deferred to the second half. And Cameron Dicker, the Pro Bowl kicker this year, kicks it off. Let's get rocking and rolling. This is going to be fielded at the 6-yard line and returned towards the left side. Excellent special teams coverage. Right on the spot, tackled at the 16-yard line. And that was done well by Dean Leonard, the Chargers' best special teamer this year. C.J. Stroud in the last 4 games has thrown for 232 passing yards per game, with a 63% completion percentage and a touchdown to interception ratio of 5-1. He's 4-0 in those games, and is coming to his own as of now. Tua Pelotu is 1-on-1 with Fisher at the left tackle side. Motioning left is Kirk, or is that Xavier Hutchinson in the slot? The first play is a run play right side for Woody Marks, and he plunges ahead for a 5-yard run. Nice job there from the rookie out of USC. He's carved out a nice role for himself on this Texans offense. It's Jarrett Kingston at left tackle, Blake Fisher at right tackle. Titus Howard is the left guard. So a lot has shifted around. Or no, it's actually the lineup that we all predicted out to be, with Fisher, left tackle, Patterson, left guard. 2nd and 5. And the single back still is Marks. Topolotu lines up against Fisher. It's up against Howard this time. They'll go back to Marks, trying to get an extra push. This time he gets limited to 3 yards. Chargers defense wanting to take advantage of this spot, looking to prevail on 3rd and 2. No Denzel Perryman. He's suspended for the rest of the regular season, but he'll be eligible to return for the playoffs. There is a long saga between DK Metcalf and the Lions fan Ryan Kennedy that is up for discussion. But that's for another day. We're going to focus here on 3rd and 1. Trips left with Kirk motioning right. Stroud's first pass of this game. He'll wait and launch one deep. Wide open! Higgins! No one will catch him! Goodbye! 3 plays. The Texans take it the distance. The Chargers defense caught napping here on 3rd and 1 on the deep ball with Stroud controlling the line of scrimmage, and it's a blown coverage with Jaden Higgins on the deep post route. The accuracy of Stroud on the deep ball, a beauty. And Higgins, the rookie receiver, broke free. Kaimi Fairbairn for the extra point left hash. It is up and good. The Texans coming out on fire. Stroud to Higgins. How about this connection? Who says it's just Nico Collins? Higgins can do the deep ball running too. 7-0 Houston when we return. 75 yards for Jaden Higgins. House call. Nico Collins runs in front at first on this concept. That was a post route for Higgins, and he got himself wide open. Stroud was able to recognize that. Collins drew the one-on-one coverage with the defender in tight on the inside post, and Stroud knew where to place that. Throwing deep. Kaimi Fairbairn to kick it off, and the Chargers with a chance to respond up against the league's best defense. What could be a defensive showdown between these two? Kick is up, and this will not be returned. They'll take this out to the 35-yard line, and Justin Herbert with another terrific game, 23-29, 300 yards, 3 total touchdowns last week at Dallas. Now going up against the other Texas team, the Texans. Going from the NFC Texas team to the AFC Texas team, which could be a game that could be worth cinema to watch. Herbert being able to get some down ballot MVP votes this season, which should be the case. Starting from the zone 35, and then a pistol set with Scott Matlock motion left. Hampton. Nice job by the Texans defense to limit him to 3 yards on the first play from scrimmage. It is Bobby Hart, the starting left tackle, number 66 in navy blue. It's his first start at blindside tackle for the first time in 3 years. Something that is unfamiliar to him, given that he has mostly played right tackle. This was 2 yards to carry for Hampton as Matlock motions to the fullback spot. Herbert fakes the throw, and now it's Hampton. Once again, the Texans get to him quickly. It's 3 yards this time. And the league's best defense has seen a lot of shifts around at the DE tackle spot, but they have made it work all around. Azeez Al-Shaair, their Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee, starting at the second level next to Henry To'oTo'o. And Al-Shaair came over because he's familiar with DeMeco Ryans, dating back to the 49ers years. Motioning to the slot. On the right, I believe that is Johnson. Here's Herbert with the pressure coming to him. And here's Hunter. He hunted him down. Folded him like a lawn chair. The quick free and out forced by the Texans defense. And here's J.K. Scott to punt it off. A quick move to the inside, beating out Bobby Hart. And Hart is not really known for being among the upper echelon, but when you take those opportunities, you take them where you can get them. Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson Jr. A ferocious combo. Never gets as old as time does. 4th and 14. On the punt from Scott. Sends it off, and back is Jalen Noel, who'll step up to about the 28. Oh, that one got away. Are there flags going to come out? Well, it's Jalen Noel who wanted to field that, and he gets ran right into by one of the Chargers. When we come back, it is the Texans with the ball. here's something that we should monitor. Justin Herbert was wincing after taking that sack from Hunter and Anderson. He is feeling pain, and of course he's playing through an injury on his non-throwing hand. That speaks to his toughness throughout the course of this season. That hand injury they suffered back in week 13. That was Will Dissly who hit Jalen Noel on the return attempt. And on the second Texan possession, here's a play fake. Stroud throws middle, wide open. First down, Higgins. Again. Stroud and the rookie already 2 for 2 on the connections. And already it's a play action on a deep curl route on the play fake to Marks. Higgins went down going on his backside to make that a catch, which is a tough adjustment, but it's doable. Ooh, and he got kicked as well at the end of it. That went for about 13 yards to the 41-yard line. Motion left is Dalton Schultz, the former Cowboy. Now he's coming back right. And then left. Up the middle, it is Marks. And he gets an extra push. Still going. Oh my word. How good was that? Turned a gain of 1 into a gain of about 5. During the 7-game win streak, it was started by Davis Mills with 3 wins, and then C.J. Stroud picked up the last 4. 5 of those wins came with one score. Wins over Jacksonville, Tennessee, Buffalo, Indy, KC, Arizona, and Las Vegas. The fact that they were able to beat both Buffalo and Kansas City speaks volumes to this season that the Texans have been having. Hutchinson was in motion. Another play fake from Stroud. Here's a dump off left side to Hutchinson at the first down before he's shoved out towards the Chargers sideline on the left side of the field. So far, a great start for the Texans, in which they're firing on all cylinders. There's a PA rollout with Stroud getting the ball right over to a Pelotu who was in pursuit. Derwin James forced out Hutchinson. And he went tumbling over with these play fakes. Have been a thing of beauty to watch for the Texans all throughout. Apparently, they do their most damage against the Chargers of all teams. What do you think of it? Nick Chubb in the game now as Hutchinson in motion again. Another play fake. Stroud with it. Airs this out again. One for the home run ball again. Yes, sir! Jalen Noel! House call! This one for 43! The Chargers, normally one of the best defenses in the league, have not given up big plays like this. And on 2 offensive drives, both touchdowns for the Texans have come on big plays. Jalen Noel on what was the same thing that Jaden Higgins did the previous drive, which was the deep post route, and he was right there on the spot. Extra point from Fairbairn, and he is 2 for 2 on extra points. Stroud finds 2 rookies on house calls. First was Jaden Higgins. This time, it's Jalen Noel. The vertical routes thriving here. And both rookies out of Iowa State have found the end zone. We'll be right back. Are you ready for this? CJ Stroud on 4 passing plays, 4 for 4, 2 touchdowns, and 142 passing yards. Both of those touchdowns have come from at least 40 yards out. You talk about a perfect start to the day? This is a perfect start. And there's no signs of Stroud slowing down as of now. Even for all of Justin Herbert's heroics. This kick is returned from the 1. And moving towards the right, then left is Keandre Lambert Smith. And immediately brought down to 25. Danielle Hunter hunting down Justin Herbert, as Will Anderson was also in there for that sack. But also that non-throwing hand injury is going to be one to monitor. He was being looked at by the medical staff on the Chargers on the sidelines in case. But his toughness is not to be questioned. They need him. He has taken 50 sacks this season, third most in the NFL. He's been getting banged up as a consequence of no Alt or Slater. Here's Hampton to the right. Nice stop. He wasn't getting any more yards. Limited him to 5. Aziz Al-Shaair was there. Marion Hampton, who has been in and out of the lineup this season, has made a positive impact when healthy. The rookie out of North Carolina. 2nd and 6. And that was a run to the right set up on the C gap or the B gap. Al-Shaair has been everywhere throughout this Texans defense. Motion right. Another handoff to Hampton. And again, the Texans defense swarming all over the field. Gain of 3 that time. And the motion man was Trey Harris. Another rookie. This one from Ole Miss. Going in for the injured Darius Davis. Out with an ankle injury. One of several Chargers out with injury. Kimani Vidal, neck injury. Jamari Sawyer, hamstring injury. Benjamin St. Juste out of a shoulder injury. Same injury as R.J. Mickens, the rookie safety out of Clemson. Motion left is Hampton. Harris goes to him as well. It seems that the Chargers were changing a formation. Texans show blitz. And here's a dump off to Harris for the first down. Met by Jalen Pitre. But it's a first down. I believe it's a gain of 7 or 8. And the Chargers making plays where they can take them. And Justin Herbert's doing what is smart. That's an 8-yard play for Harris. An easy pitch and catch behind the line of scrimmage on the PA rollout on the left. First down here for the Chargers with Harris matched up against Lassiter. Second-year corner out of Georgia. On a single back set, here's a handoff up the left side for Hampton. Trying to get some extra room. Push forward. And the offensive line that time does the job. Looked to be 2 yards, but the help for the O-line got him 3 extra yards. Rashawn Slater is a season-ending knee surgery in training camp. Then Joe Alt, season-ending ankle surgery in week 9. As a consequence, Herbert's been sacked 50 times this season, which is the third most in the NFL. Those offensive line issues, especially on the tackles, have been a glaring hole in the absences of Alt and Slater. Slater usually plays left tackle, Alt at right tackle. Another handoff, this is shotgun one, and Hampton met right behind the line. That's what this Texans defense can do to you. They can bite you in more ways than one. It's 2-0. 1 yard behind the line with the speed and the flashiness they provide to Matt Burke's defense. He went in unblocked on the A gap through the middle, seeing that lane close off quickly. It is 3rd and 5. It's very tough running on this Texans defense. 4th best run defense in the NFL by a rushing yards per game given up. On 3rd and 5, the Texans send 4, and Herbert is met for the 51st time. Anderson with Sheldon Rankins. Anderson has won, and both Chargers drives end in 3rd down sacks. Sheldon Rankins enjoying his return to H-Town. A little how do you do with a run up for the middle bull rush. Right on, I believe, to center Bradley Bozeman. And on the right tackle, Pipkins Anderson won his rep. And that's a danger you can face when going up against this pass rush. It is punted away by Scott. Stepping up is Noel. He had the touchdown recently. He's going to step out of bounds at the Texans sideline. 5:01 to go. First quarter. And will we see another deep ball touchdown here for the Texans? Well, if you're a Houston fan, you better hope so. Because you're wanting fireworks. Well, we'll be right back. Ever since the first half of the wild card game last week, the Texans have been steamrolling all over the Chargers. That game won by the Texans 30-12 at NRG Stadium. Here, the Texans have been sucking the life out of the SoFi Stadium crowd. And mind you, in the same way the Chargers don't have both starting offensive tackles, the Texans don't have both of their starting offensive tackles either. Here is Stroud on first down to pass towards the left side. Caught, instantly tackled for a 4-yard catch. Noel. And yes, those injuries being a ruptured patellar tendon for Slater, ankle surgery for Alt, which is season ending. For the Texans, it is Ariante Ursary out of a thumb injury. Trent Brown is out of a knee injury. Howard returns to his original position of right tackle, moving over from left guard. Jarrett Patterson fills in at left guard, while Howard plays right tackle. That's the other position that Howard is used to seeing. 2nd and 6. It's a run towards the left, being tripped up on the feet. That was Jawar Jordan, who was called in for the practice squad several weeks ago. And the first-year running back from Louisville, who made the most out of his opportunity on his first game, going for over 100 yards rushing on one of the games that he's been called up. The Texans converted 38.2% of their third downs this season, which ranks 20th in the NFL. They're not really a good third down offense, even for all the heroics the defense has been making this season. But even though it's a 14-point lead for the Texans, it doesn't feel safe, given who they're up against. Justin Herbert, who's been on another level this season. Stroud throws towards the right, caught, reaching out for the first down, it's Christian Kirk. He went from one AFC South team to another. Kirk moves the chains. And on third down situations, He's been very useful from the slot, going one-on-one this time with Tarheeb Still, one of the two second-year corners on the Chargers, the other being Cam Hart, who have emerged into quality roles on this defense. The Chargers average 1.1 yards per play, the Texans 16.7, and that's not a typo here in this first quarter. It's been a role reversal between two offenses. And this run will go for a couple yards here for the Texans. That is Chubb with 2. And for those who are just joining this stream, it is 14-0 Texans on back-to-back deep strikes from C.J. Stroud in the first 2 offensive drives. 2nd and 9, as it was 1 yard from Nick Chubb on that run, the former Cleveland Brown. Noel inserts himself into the slot next to Jaden Higgins. Stroud to throw here. Towards the left side. Nobody. A miscommunication with Higgins brings up 3rd and 9. This young receiving core will have a lot of room to grow. And Collins has started out as wide receiver 2. With Brandon Cooks on the team, he's evolved to wide receiver 1 as the big body deep threat who can go anywhere. Higgins is another deep threat of a big body who can fight for contested catches. Noel and Kirk are the speedster options, both being 5'11". Trips left, 1 right. Shotgun set. Chargers jumble up the line, showing blitz. They fake it. Stroud trying to get away. And oh boy, that was not going to plan. He that one up in the air. Now, that certainly wasn't in the talks. 4th and 9 as they get Townsend off to punt. Where the spot is going to be will matter depending on if a flag comes out or not. But the pressure, wide open, no chance, was number 98, Odafe Owe. They're not going to call this intentional grounding because there was a receiver in the spot. But Owe had the pressure. And here's Tommy Townsend on his first punt. Vlad McConkey is back deep to receive it. And he'll take off. Slips up at the 15. Evades some more tackles and finally brought down at the 19. That took about forever to get to him. It's EJ Speed. Bringing the speed right on McConkey. 2:04 left. We'll see the Chargers can get on the board. When looking at the next-gen stats, Danielle Hunter is top 3 in the NFL in sacks. Will Anderson Jr., top 3 in pressures and pressure percentage. This duo is by far and away the best edge rusher duo in the entire NFL. Nobody else comes close. How far and away these two can go. They elevate this defense and take it to a whole new level. Hunter and Anderson, threats all over the field. But now the Chargers are back on offense. See what these two can do on the defensive side. Harbor on the play fake. Throws towards the left side as Hampton setting up the catch and run. All the deep passing lanes were taken away as Petrie, who brings him down 5 yards on the carry. On the catch left. Nice play call from Greg Roman, but you would imagine that you want to get something more out of that. No more than just 5 yards on the catch and run, as all the middle deep passing lanes were all erased by this Texans defense. Single back set this time. Johnson's out right. McConkey motions left to the left of Hart. Hampton on the run. Again, the Texans munch him up. Limited to one, Tommy Togiai. That sets up third and either 5 or 4. It all depends on the spot. You have players that can make plays up at the front. It's the second level and the first level. Al-Shaair and Togiai, both on run defense. Al-Shaair is the jack of all trades linebacker who can swarm all lanes. Third and 4 with McConkey wide to the left. Shotgun set. Herbert to throw it. Middle. And that came close to being caught. But it's Keenan Allen who dropped it. Usually Mr. Reliable on third down. One of those rare miscues as a Charger, but they have surfaced very often in his lone year with the Bears last year. One of the rare mistakes that Allen makes on the slant, you're thinking about running the ball. A missed opportunity for the Chargers to take advantage of. And a brutal drop by Allen on third down. The Chargers go 3 and out for the second time in 3 offensive drives as a result. And Scott will punt again. This is third punt of the game. And here's Jalen Noel. One of the Chargers got out of the way. He knew a fair catch was coming. And Noel is calling for fair catch interference. He grabbed the ball. And there's a conference here with Craig Rolstad. We'll see what the other flag is for. Keandre Lambert-Smith is running full head of steam. Rolstad in his 12th season as an NFL ref. We'll hear from him. Alright, so the penalty is not for the fair catch interference, but it's for holding on Tremon Smith. But nonetheless, it's the Texans' ball either way. And this quarter has been excellent throughout this quarter for the Texans. 168-16 are the total yards in favor of Houston. And a complete reversal of fortunes from last week. The Texans have been bull rushing all over the field. No pun intended. Toss play to Marks to start off this drive. Runs into his own lineman, Ingram. Or rather, Andrews. For a 4-yard run. That could possibly be the last play of this first quarter. We'll see if anything else happens here with 20 seconds. The game clock is at the play clock. 3 yards for Marks. And the Chargers' magical season last year coming to an unceremonious end when Herbert threw for more interceptions against the Texans in the playoffs than he did all of last season. That's going to do it for the first. On a quarter that's gone amazingly perfect for H-Town. 14-0. 2 passing touchdowns, both on deep strikes. The first to Jaden Higgins. The other to Jalen Noel. When we come back, it's the second quarter. I'm Alec Nava. Stay tuned, everyone. Texans had more touchdowns in the first quarter and the Chargers had first downs. And Herbert's still wincing after taking back-to-back sacks on the first two drives. The most recent drive for the Chargers ended in a drop ball from Keenan Allen. Stroud against zone coverage, 6 of 7, 151 yards, and 2 touchdowns. This is 2nd and 7 with Xavier Hutchinson, another Iowa State product, motioning left. Stroud looking, now stepping right. That ball was tipped at the line. Incomplete, short of Kirk. Almost got to him. It's 3rd and 7, but a good job by the Chargers defensive line to hold firm. It's Al-Shaair Tart, the former Tennessee Titan, who got a hand on that ball. One of the smartest at watching balls from the line. His backhand, outstanding. He knew that pass was coming along from Stroud and tipped it to make sure it was not going to be caught by Kirk. It was batted up at the line. Nice job. Deion Henley steps up, the inside linebacker to the left of Toli Tuipulotu, showing blitz from him. Stroud thrown towards the middle, caught for the first down at the 35. Nico Collins. Have a little how do you do. And he keeps the chains rolling along for H-Town. The motto being H-Town made. And of course they're showing that they are H-Town made. Collins on his first catch, that is 15 yards, getting himself to ample separation away from Hart. And he's known for making big plays. And that is a big play in and of itself. Run to the left for Jawar Jordan. Jordan rumbling for 8 yards. Nice job. And a little shove afterwards. The officials had to step in to make sure no further pushing and shoving was done. Defense and getting off the field huge for both sides. They had to keep playing their own game up and throughout. The Houston Texans rumbling around everywhere that they go. And offensively, they've been rolling all over one of the toughest defenses in the NFL. Chargers ranked top 5 in defense. Here's an end around for Hutchinson. Hutchinson gallops his way for the first down. Still going past midfield. Gets another shove. And that was an unintentional one from Cam Hart. In which he aided some more of that yardage for Hutchinson. Not a lot of points are going to be given up from there. From either standpoint. But you know what the Texans are capable of. All the way from up here. Could hear a pin drop from the SoFi crowd. Single back set. And here's a run for Jordan. Again, this time they meet him. Otisio Ogbonia. That was the tackler this time. And getting called up for the practice squad, Marcus Williams. That's a name we haven't heard in a while. Last we heard of him, he was with the Baltimore Ravens. Spent some years with the New Orleans Saints. Now on 2nd and 10, and that was after Williams was on the field to stop Hutchinson getting any further damage. 2nd and 10, shotgun set, motioning right is Schultz. Lined up as a wide receiver. Stroud throws his way, caught. Shakes off of the tackler. But not for long, though. That was Tarheeb still. A late shove. Oh, my goodness. And immediately a flag comes out. And that's going to hurt the Texans after that shove. That's going to push them back 15 yards. Al-Shaair Tart got onto his face. I assume this flag's going to be on Schultz for unnecessary roughness. What are we doing here? You cannot afford to do that in a game like this, especially when you have a playoff spot on the line. Of course, it is Schultz flag for unnecessary roughness, and this was after the play, so the down will count for that shove on Al-Shaair Tart. And Tart did put a helmet up on his face, but yeah, the force that Schultz did push on Tart is what drew the penalty. I mean, hey, you cannot do that at all. So it was 3rd and 1. Now 3rd and 17. Stroud will lob it up. Woody Marks trying to get as much as he can, and he just gets shy of midfield. And that shove from Schultz was what killed off this drive. A very costly penalty will have them get a punt instead of a longer drive. That big 15-yard penalty killed off any momentum from the Texans. It's one huge thing that can set you back on any occasion. Now here's the punt from Tommy Townsend. Can you get it off? He's positioned all the way back at the 35. Boots it from his 37. Back deep is McConkey calling for a fair catch. He kneels down at the 8. We're headed to a break now, and the Texans slowed down. The Chargers looking to get anything out of one of their drives. Anything at all. Houston's up 14-0 so far. 233 yards last week for the Chargers and 21 points in the first 3 drives on offense. But today, it's been a whole different story. 16 yards, no points on the first 3 drives of this game. There's a very stark contrast between facing the Cowboys defense and facing the Texans defense. Both ends of the spectrum. On the left side is Hampton, and it's been much of the same story for him. He's been getting met for short gains or right the line of scrimmage. And Al-Shaair is down and hurt. Again, you're talking about impact at defenders. Al-Shaair is one of them. We'll have to take a look at what just happened here. Hampton got a gain of 1. But we'll step away for the moment as the medical trainers look at Al-Shaair. Al-Shaair walked off the field under his own power. He is favoring his right shoulder. And at the end, as he got rammed into by his own teammate EJ Speed on the last play, and yeah, that was friendly fire. He managed to work himself up, a little banged up, so he'll sit out for a sequence. He still does have his helmet on, so this isn't the last that we've seen of him. McConkey motions all the way to the right, 3 right and 1 left. 2nd and 9 for the Chargers. Herbert towards the right side, broken up. Intended for Johnston. It is Petrie who was on the coverage. The slot corner. He can also play at safety. He's been outstanding for the Texans this season. The Petrie has been flying all over the field on all angles. Here's 3rd and 9. And a huge pass breakup by a Petrie right on Johnston, who's been the big body of this Chargers receiving core. LA is 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversions on the day. Houston is 3 of 5. Texans send 4 after Herbert, who's on the edge of the end zone, gets away, throws it off sidearm, and hit is Gadsden right after the catch by Stingley. Came in bulldozing, full steam ahead like a road runner. And with 10 minutes to go in the first half, the Chargers are facing 3 and out again. 4th and 3 is J.K. Scott getting ready to punt this off. No chance for Gadsden to move anywhere past the line of scrimmage as he was stumbling after catching the ball. There was no chance he saw Stingley coming. Scott with another boot. Back is Noel. He calls for a fair catch just past the 45-yard line at the 46. There are flags down at the end of it all. The Texans coming out into this game on fire. However, there is a penalty at the end of it on the Texans. That is a holding penalty. Houston's offense high and flying all over the field. 2 deep strikes. The first one to Jaden Higgins, speeding out Dante Jackson on the catch on the deep side. And then the second one, Jalen Noel, wide open. 2 rookies out of Iowa State combining for the deep strikes on the catches. Higgins is out there, set all the way to the right. 9:40 to go. He is in a stack formation with Nico Collins. Now he motions left. At their own 36, not the 46 after that penalty. So it's a single back set. It's a handoff to Marks. Marks trying to hurdle over one of the defenders. I believe that's Delshon Phillips, 53. 5 yards is to carry. A lot about this defense is known for Houston's side, but the young offense is needing to heat up. Tape for tape. Tight and all throughout. 2nd and 5. But the young receivers have made an impact. Noel and Higgins, both of them are on the bench right now. But any one of these receivers can make their mark here and there. Hutchinson motions right. Play fake. Stroud holding onto the ball. And he heaves this one away. Out of bounds. Feeling the pressure from Owe. That means it's 3rd and 5. Nico Collins came across the field and the Chargers defense keyed in on him, trying to take him away as a receiving option. Now he's back on the field with Jaden Higgins, going to surprise everyone. Maybe it could lead to a sack, who knows. It is 3rd and 5. Tua Pelotu is lined up against Howard. Best on best among offensive and defensive linemen from either side. Stroud dumps off left side. Intercepted! Derwin James was right in front! The All-Pro gives the Chargers life here, and they take over at Texans territory. And it looked like tip balls are a thing here throughout. A hand was in the way. And that was created by Deshaun Hand, who got his hand right up onto the pass from Stroud. He went up to jump at the line to deflect it. It was supposed to be a bullet pass trying to get this into the stride. But it was Hand who got that one. Scott Matlock in motion. He's the fullback. As the tight end, now he motions back left. Here is Hampton one more time. Can he get some life here? Well, he does to some extent. To the 33-yard line for 5 yards for LA. The Chargers getting exactly what they needed. They were to catch up to the Broncos in the AFC West race. And the Texans side the field, they know the pressures on the defense to keep them afloat again. It's 14-0 Houston. And Al-Shaair back on the field. We knew it was going to be back on after he fell down, but he got up walking off on his own power. Going all right. Patriots coming. He's blocked off nicely. The screen is over to Hampton. Hampton on the race. To the 20. To the 15. Finally brought down. Right idea by the Texans. But a nice block on the left side prevented Patriot from coming up front. It was Hampton who laid the block. And on the other way, it was Daniil Hunter who was shoved away once by Trey Pipkins. Then ensues the foot race between 202 and Hampton. And Hampton got a lot of chunk yardage out of that. Now they're in the red zone for the first time on the day at the 15-yard line. Single back with Hampton right behind. And around is Trey Harris. Harris has some blockers. Past the 10. Down at the 8. EJ Speed. Now this game's gotten interesting. And there is another Texan hurt. You want to look for ways to slow down the defensive attack. And a bootleg screen, end around, cutbacks, and all the reverses. You could do that to slow things down. The injured Texan is Kamari Lassiter. His left knee is getting looked at, by the way. He is among the team leaders in interceptions for the Texans. So we're staying with you for the moment. As Lassiter, he's getting a lot of looking at from the medical staff. He has 4 interceptions on the year, one of 4 Texans defensive backs with 4 interceptions. Derek Stingley, Jalen Petrie, and Kalen Bullock all each have 4 interceptions. Derek Stingley kneeling for his teammates. Taking a knee, knowing that this is... Defensive coordinator Matt Burke still looking onwards. This defense built tough and leading its way to the best defense in the NFL. Looking at the knee. Smacked at the back by Petrie. That got ugly. But he's walking. The good news is that he's walking on his own power. We'll step away. Breaking news from Tampa Bay. The Lightning and J.J. Moser are closing on an 8-year extension worth $6.75 million annually. So in the meantime, it's 2nd and 3 with Labaconki motioning left and Hampton brought down. Nice stuff from Kayvon Wallace, called up from the practice squad with the run stuff. And a big play from H-Town with him coming up for the practice squad, the strong safety in his 6th year out of Clemson. To get some momentum going, Tremon Smith was inserted as the backup corner in the absence of Lassiter. Miles Bryant is also utilized either as a corner or as a safety. It's being used more as a safety these days. 3rd and 4. The loss of 1 on that play. Herbert dancing in the pocket, trying to escape. Evading Rankins. Throws towards the end zone, but he instead threw it towards the fans. Knowing that all the pressure was there and everybody was covered. So instead of a touchdown, the Chargers have to settle for a field goal from Cameron Dicker. Trying to put the Chargers on the board. The crossing routes were all shut down, and everybody was covered nicely from LA by H-Town. What a nice defensive game plan for the Texans here on 3rd and 4. Shutting down the end zone as Herbert was going to aim there. 27 yards for Dicker from the left hash. To put the Chargers on the board. Kick is up. And no doubt about that one. As reliable as he can be. And he's one of the best kickers in the NFL by field goal percentage. They know what to expect from him. 6:10 to go here in this 2nd quarter. And Dicker on his way to the Pro Bowl. And of course, when we know about everything, of course, with Dicker being among the best kicker conversations in the AFC, Cam Little may be in that conversation, and among best kicker in the league. Of course, Brandon Aubrey, not close on that regard. When you talk of best in the AFC, Dicker, Little, and you could even say Chris Boswell, for that matter. 14-3 Houston, with Dicker getting set to kick it back off to the Texans, who have been slowed down as of late. The interception by Derwin James gave the Chargers life. Give an assist to Deshaun Ham for that. And when some guys come into the league, they make an instant impact for their team. Dicker's one of those players on special teams. The Chargers have been a franchise that's been long known for their special teams miscues. But Dicker is not one of those reasons for being the poster child as such. Noel towards the left. Cuts the edge at the 20. He is ran out at the 24 by Kendall Williamson. And of course, Dicker has been a bright spot on the Chargers special teams. As we now go on to the Texans offense again. They have to go 76 yards this time. And Houston is rolling. Kamari Lassiter is walking off onto the team facilities. While more injury reports from him. Looks like the knee is what's bothering him. With receivers aligned wide, Stroud is 8 of 10, 174, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Jordan gets 4 yards on this first down carry up the middle. Stroud starts 6 of 6, 151 yards and 2 touchdowns, but ever since 3 of 8, 27 yards and the interception. We know that this is going to be a defensive battle. To what extent is the question? The easy, wide open looks have been closed off by the Chargers' excellent defense. Now it's going to be a matter of take what the defense gives you. 2nd and 6. Hutchinson motions left. And here's Jawar Jordan again. First down and more. Past the 35 and down at the 36. They're going to say he's down at the 37. Jawar Jordan's coming to his own as the backup or the third running back for the Texans, right behind Nick Chubb and Woody Marks. No Joe Mixon? Well, no problem. Mixon's not expected to play this season because of the injury they sustained off-season. That run got him about 10 or so yards. Here's another run. This time, marks a swallowed whole. Tony Jefferson, loss of 2. He's been having a terrific season coming out of retirement and enjoying the Chargers. He comes over from the edge, showing safety blitz. He read the rushing lane to perfection as soon as Marks was right behind the left tackle Blake Fisher, who's been coming into his own as of late. The second-year left tackle out of Notre Dame. Loss of 2, 2nd and 12. Stroud throws left, it's Noel. Lunges ahead to the 43. It's furthermore manageable. The Chargers tried to get a hand up in the air to try to tip the ball at the line. But that didn't happen. So it's 4 yards for Jalen Noel. Jim Harbaugh and Jesse Minter are familiar with one another dating back to their days at Michigan. Minter was the defensive coordinator there. He's emerged as a potential head coaching candidate among NFL teams. Right now, 3rd and 4. Shotgun set with 2 right and 2 left. Stroud, pressure coming to it. That's Mack. Lobs one up for Marks. Short. Owe in coverage. Woody Marks had Odafe Owe on. The ball was not catchable, even though Owe never turned his head around. Neither side was in a position to play the ball, though, and that's a punt. Stroud knew that matchup on the right side. Stroud knew there was somebody on the space, so he had to get it out quickly, and Mack was able to get the pressure. It is Townsend to punt. Boots it. Back is McConkey. Fair catch signaled as he sidesteps to the 12. 3:19 to go here in the second quarter. And on the season recap, the Chargers started off 3-0 with all 3 of their wins against the AFC West. They're 6-1 in one-score games, the best record in the NFL. They can win the AFC West with wins in their last 2 games. They play the Broncos next week. So they not only have to win this week, but they also have to win next week if they were to win the AFC West. Jim Harbaugh is the first head coach in Chargers history of 11 wins in each of his first 2 seasons. He's elevated this team to another level. And what a turnaround it's been under his guys, supposed to the Brandon Staley years. Harbaugh, a national championship winning coach with the University of Michigan. Also coached football at the 49ers and his alma mater Stanford. Herbert lofts towards the left side. Caught. Sidestepping. Johnston. 15 yards out of it. A slice and dice beauty from Jay Herbo. Omarion Hampton sold the run. And then he gets the run block right inside to shut down the defender on the inside. His strength has been a huge asset for the Chargers. And so is Johnston, who caught at the 29. 2 left and 2 right on the shotgun. Herbert flips it over to Hampton, and that may have been a poor decision. Tackled immediately as he caught it. Will Anderson was right there. And by the way, Kamari Lassiter, he is questionable to return with that knee injury suffered earlier in this game. His mother is now whispering something onto his ear right before he exited onto the medical facilities. The Chargers don't have to run another play here. And the play clock running down. Don't take it to the 2-minute warning. They tried to get the Texans to jump off sides. So the Chargers have the ball, looking to drive it down the distance with 2 minutes to go here. Texans lead it, 14-3. I'm Alec Nava. We'll be right back. Mack with the pressure on third down up against the Texans offense that forced that incomplete pass. Woody Marks never turned around as he was going deep. A miscommunication between Stroud and Marks on third down as Stroud was off target, throwing it short. D'Amico Ryans, third-year head coach of the Texans, coming back to a team in which he is coached for, in which he is used to play for as a linebacker. He's used to the team. He knows the culture that he wants to establish. 2nd and 15 after the ill-advised toss pass from Herbert to Hampton. Texans send 4 after Herbert. Backs away. Now gets away. Herbert trying to make the most of his legs. And a shove. And no flags here. Pushing and shoving after the matter of fact. That a hit was in bounds, by the way. It was Tremon Smith who shoved him out. And forcing the run right after the matter of fact. Yes, it was in bounds. 2-2 and Smith. Herbert's foot was in bounds. Yeah, it was a legal hit. The Chargers were looking for a penalty. None was called. It's a run of 2. But that was a legal hit in bounds. Not unnecessary roughness. 3rd and 13. Instead of a free first down for the Chargers. The first down marker is the 39-yard line. Empty set for LA. 2 left and 3 right. Herbert trying to throw this as deep as he can towards the left side. Wide open! Quentin Johnston in the red zone! The play the Chargers desperately needed to bolt up. Not everybody can make that type of throw, but when you can, it works. Justin Herbert with the touch on the deep ball to Johnston on a blown coverage, a rare blown assignment by the Texans on the day. But that's when the loss of Kamari Lassiter really hurts. Herbert looking end zone, bobbled, intercepted! Right off the hands of Gadsden, Azeez Al-Shaair! Gadsden continues to get better every passing week, but that is one that he should have had right there with him. With the ball tipped up in the air, right in the red zone, and with defenders nearby, that's going to be dangerous. Al-Shaair was there for the pick. Had to exit the game earlier, walked off under his own power, and with the heart of a lion, takes it away. And right at the 1-yard line are the Texans with 1:06 left. This is a dangerous spot for the Texans, and they have to be very careful operating out at this position, because the safety here gives the ball back to the Texans. Stroud's going to sneak it, and probably that's the right thing to do. Gains a couple of yards to try to get out of that danger spot. LA calls timeout immediately with 1:02 left. And Gadsden has to be shaking his head for that costly drop. The Moser extension has been confirmed. Oh, man. An unfortunate play for Gadsden. Quarterback sneak here. You can go through and up front. If you want to salvage some field position, this could be the way to go. Now you're at the 3-yard line on 2nd and 8 after the sneak from Stroud. A 60-yard connection from Herbert to Johnston, all broken apart from that drop pass from Gadsden. That led to the interception from Al-Shaair. Stroud now will hand off to Marks, and Marks has a lot of running room. Past the 15, on to the 23. Dayon Henley with the stop. 52 seconds remain, and the Texans wanting to capitalize it with what we believe to be a field goal. Line of scrimmage control and a gaping hole open up by both Jaden Higgins and Blake Fisher to give Marks all that breathing room to run on the left side of the field. From there, he is gone. All that room created thanks to those two. It is the Texans calling timeout. And another injury to their offensive line. That is Ed Ingram, who came over from Minnesota. 6'4", 295. Oof. How many injuries can an offensive line take? The fourth-year guard out of LSU. And he went down awkwardly. Ooh. Right on the knee. Up top. You never know what can happen to an offensive line and what happens underneath. You have to, at this moment, to check on them. 52 seconds left. We're sticking with you here. The backup right guard is Juice Scruggs. And the first stringer is Jarrett Kingston. Scruggs, a third-year guard out of Penn State. Kingston's second year from USC. Scruggs can also play center. So does Patterson. There's Jake Andrews, who is the primary center. No relation to the now retired David Andrews, even though Jake used to be a member of the New England Patriots. Houston claimed him off waivers, and he's carved out a role as the starting center since. And Ingram walks off on his own power, helmet on, so that's good news. So now, he'll have to sit out for a play or so. Scruggs fills in at right guard for a sequence. It's first down, shotgun set, trips right, one left. Marks the running back to the right of Stroud. Motioning left to Schultz. With 4. Stroud's going to throw it. Dump off for Schultz, and it's dropped. It does buy the Texans time, but it cost them a down. So they lead 14-3, 49 seconds. Alec, now here with you play-by-play. Texans wanted to get points out this drive, no matter what. Obviously, it's an incomplete pass, but you want to get more yardage out of this. Scheme up something for your receivers. Now, you can use allows the Chargers to use their timeouts if they can force a stop. Second down. He'll go for the middle. Intercepted! Right back to the Chargers. This time, Elijah Molden. He was the one who gave up the first touchdown this game. This time, he was the one who sets up the Chargers on a second chance at life. An opportunity on the outside, but he took away the passing lane, jumped the route in front of Christian Kirk. Molden was just sitting right in front of Kirk, and Kirk was essentially a sitting duck. You need some points? Instead, they give it back to the Chargers, who can either go for 6 or for 3. A bad decision on Stroud on the middle. The Chargers can go 32 yards for the score as Keenan Allen motions all the way to the right. 2 right and 2 left. Shotgun set. Here's Herbert. On first down, throws left side. Open man caught. First down. 11 yards. Out of bounds goes Johnston. Right on Lassiter, who just came back. Immediately, Greg Roman wants to work the sidelines. That's what you're supposed to do on a 2-minute drill like this one. Immediately throw towards the outside. No hesitation. Stroud so shake his head after that sequence. McConkey motions towards the right, has Petrie with him. 1-on-1. Can be assumed as a man-to-man. Herbert looks, trying to evade the pressure, and can't spin away from it. A flag comes in, however. The Texans are celebrating. It's the Nico Autry who brought him down. There is a flag. We have yet to check the penalty. This is a big call which can go one way otherwise. Here's the call from Rostad. It is a tripping penalty on Danico Autry. Instead of being a long sack for the Texans, it is a tripping penalty and a very costly one. It sets up the Chargers half the distance to the goal for an automatic first down. He reached his foot up to knock down Herbert and knocks him down with the foot. That's a big no-no because of that trip. Herbert's already banged up as he is, staying on the field. That huge tripping penalty setting up the Chargers nicely. Herbert steps up away from Hunter. He lost it! Gets it back! And he falls onto it to prevent further damage at the 19. Loss of 9 on the play. In the final 2 minutes, the Chargers call timeout. And they need to because this is a critical spot. On the play fake, Herbert was rolling around, running for his life. And it was reached into and knocked out by Hunter as he was falling down with the shove from one of the offensive linemen. Hunter knocked it out from Herbert as he was running away. Loss of 7 instead of 9. It's a 2nd and 17. Danico Autry has had a very topsy-turvy drive this sequence. A sack wiped away by a tripping penalty in which he stuck up his foot to knock down Herbert. 2nd and 17, 25 seconds left. The Chargers with 1 timeout left. Labaconki motioning all the way to the right. Empty set to left and free right. Herbert with the Texans rushing 4. Throws left, wide open. Johnston runs it out. And the clock needs to run. So the clock is stopped because Johnston ran it out of bounds. And I thought that he ran out of bounds. No, it was the Chargers calling timeout. The officials blew the play dead because they thought that forward progress was going to be stopped. Kayvon Wallace with the stuff. And now the Chargers need to go 14 yards for pay dirt. 19 seconds and Harbaugh still upset. It's a 5-man protection. Hart, Johnson, Bozeman, Becton, and Pipkins, the offensive lineman. Of course, with the obvious passing situations like these, you have to be smart with the football. And of course, as a quarterback, you would love to have a touchdown here at this spot. 3rd and 14. They're at the 15-yard line. You can technically get a first down at the half-yard line. Shotgun set. Here's Herbert. Wadding 6 rolls out. Dumps off right. Disley runs it out. 14 seconds left. So the Chargers are going to go for the field goal. They don't get a touchdown out of this. Everybody was covered in the end zone. So they'll leave this drive with 3 instead of 6. The 2 interceptions only result in field goals. Cameron Dicker's out again for a second field goal of this game. This is from 32, which is about the same distance as an extra point from the right hash. Kick is up, and he missed it! Wide right. Oh my goodness. The most accurate kicker in the NFL sends this one wide right. Just barely. And the Texans breathe a sigh of relief with extra life right onto them. A chip shot kick, which should be a gimme. Then momentum goes back to Houston. They'll kneel out the rest of the clock. They'll be defending to start the second half. The Chargers will get extra life to start the second half. It's 14-3 Houston. After 30 minutes, boos are raining down at SoFi Stadium as both teams march on to the locker rooms. I'm Alec Nava. We'll see you for the halftime report in just a moment. At the half, it's 14-3 Texans in a rematch of last year's AFC wildcard game that they came out striking with 2 touchdowns to begin the first quarter on back-to-back deep balls. I'm Alec Nava, and welcome to the halftime report. CJ Stroud was a perfect 4-4 in his first 4 passes for 2 touchdowns. But however, 2 interceptions in the second quarter have brought this back down to a game. 10 of 18 were 85 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions for Stroud. Woody Marks, 7 carries, 39 yards. Jawar Jordan, 5 carries, 24 yards. So far, the rushing attack has totaled 73 rushing yards. Jaden Higgins, 2 catches, 88 yards, and a touchdown catch. Jalen Noel, 3 catches, 54 yards, and a touchdown. You need to have your playmakers making plays, and both Iowa State rookies have the touchdown catches. Nico Collins is just 1 catch, however, for 15 yards. And Aziz Al-Shaair has the low interception for H-Town so far. 3 sacks on the day for the Texans defense. 1 by Daniil Hunter, 1 by Danico Autry, and 1 split between Will Anderson Jr. and Sheldon Rankins. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert, 10 of 14 for 123 yards. He has 1 interception. Marion Hampton has been up against a brick wall. Its name is the Texans defense, limited to 22 rushing yards on 10 carries. Quentin Johnson, 4 catches, 90 yards. It's been a by-committee approach with all the receivers, and it's Johnson who's the man of the day for the Chargers so far, and the trio that constitutes of Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey. Herbert fumbled the ball once, he recovered it. The interceptions for the Chargers from Derwin James Jr. and Elijah Molden. The first downs are 9-6 Texans. The total yards 258 to 131 Houston. It's for third down efficiency. The Texans are 3 of 7. The Chargers 2 of 8. Neither team has won for it on 4th down. All the penalties have been on the Texans. They turned over the ball twice. So you go on to the latest from the NFL. As the recent from the Raiders is that Max Crosby is going to have knee surgery. He's going to be on injury reserve to begin the process of getting back fully healthy for 2026. Shut down a week in which the Raiders already placed Brock Bowers on IR, and the same week they played the Giants in a game that could decide who gets the first pick in the draft. Some around the league speculate a competitive balance could be the impetus for these decisions, but the Raiders say these moves are rooted solely in medical purposes. Crosby injured his left knee against the Chiefs and has rarely participated in a full week of practice since. He underwent additional MRI to reveal the injury persistent and could present long-term concerns should it not be addressed. The Raiders shared those concerns along with the belief that the potential long-term risk was not prudent. He wanted to finish out the season because it's what makes him the high-energy, high-performance player that he is. The Raiders overruled him in the end, but he went home disappointed, upset. But head coach Pete Carroll told reporters that he and Crosby had spoken 4 times that day. So that's one of the latest news from the NFL on the way. So also there's this saga between DK Metcalf and a fan, Ryan Kennedy, at the end of the fiasco between the Steelers and the Lions. DK Metcalf was suspended 2 games. He was denied appeal. Kennedy says that the altercation had no racial slurs or hate speech. However, it should be noted that Metcalf reported Kennedy to Seahawks security during his time in Seattle. So Metcalf argued a fan made racial and misogynistic slurs to him. Kennedy is calling for Metcalf to come forward to say those accusations are false. And Kennedy's attorney, Sean Head, said his client's family has been threatened and harassed. His business received negative online reviews. He has also said he reached out to Metcalf's representatives, hasn't heard back. For all of that, there are 2 accounts onto what happened. And Metcalf maintains something else happened, telling in longtime wide receiver Chad Johnson he heard a racial slur and offensive word about his mother led to the incident, but from the video angles being shown, doesn't seem to look that way. However, but looking at some other videos, it is shown that Kennedy threw his arms up in celebration after getting shoved, and then said to the crowd, "That was the goal, folks." It's not the first time these two interacted. He reported Kennedy did 4 field security last season when playing for the Seahawks. So this is a developing situation. So there's going to be more going to go on here on throughout. So if the Texans win, they not only get a playoff spot, but the Broncos also clinch the AFC West with a Texans victory. So what else could happen tomorrow is that Myles Garrett could set the single-season NFL sack record. It'll be special to get the record-breaking takedown in the home finale against Aaron Rodgers. He has 22 sacks this season. It's a half sack away from tying the single-season record shared by Michael Strahan and TJ Watt, a full sack away from breaking the single-season mark. Garrett has failed to bring down the future Hall of Famer, including the first matchup between the Browns and Steelers, which was a 23-9 win for Pittsburgh in Week 6. Garrett, though, has had recent success at home against the Steelers, recording 5 sacks in the past 2 games, both wins for the Browns. And Josh Allen, he's good to go tomorrow against the Philadelphia Eagles after a foot injury. The Bills will be without multiple defensive starters, Jordan Poyer to a hamstring injury, Daquan Jones to a calf injury. Poyer had his first interception since 2022 in last week's win over the Browns, and Jordan Phillips and Matt Prater also set to miss their second straight games. Practice squad kicker Michael Badgley is going to kick in Prater's place. Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox are both questionable after being limited into practice. Kincaid missed some practice time because he is dealing with a lingering injury that McDermott said the Bills are managing. Allen does not have an injury designation on his final injury report. So when we come back, the Chargers receive the second half kickoff. The Texans lead 14-3. I am Alec Nava. Stay tuned, everyone. we've seen 3 turnovers in the second quarter. 2 of them from the Texans, 1 for the Chargers. All of them have been interceptions. 258 to 131 are the total yards in favor of Houston, as they lead at 14 to 3. The Chargers have the ball to begin the second half. Now, the question is, what will they do with it? They need points for sure. Field goals are not going to cut it against the league's best defense. And Justin Herbert has had a very rough time up against this defense, dating back to last year's wild card game. And among that included a block kick return for a 2-point conversion from D'Angelo Ross, a pick 6 from Eric Murray, and 3 other interceptions. Derwin James trying to fire up his guys. Kaimi Fairbairn is set to kick it off all the way to Hassan Haskins, or whoever is the return man. This will be fielded at the end zone and not returned. And that wasn't Haskins. That was Jarrett Patterson, who was signed to the active roster. In the wildcard game, Herbert was 14 of 32, 242 yards, 1 touchdown to 4 interceptions. Those 4 picks from Herbert in that game were more in a game than he had all of the regular season last year. Today, he's 10 of 14 for 134 yards. And even though he does have the interception, he's wanting to give the Chargers life here. He can start things out with a big drive to begin this half. Shotgun with Scott Matlock in motion left. The fullback. Play fake to Hampton. Herbert steps up, rolls right, goes in front, gets away from the pressure, slides with Stingley on him. 7 yards on that scramble. He was dancing with the stars. We have, and yes, Kamari Lassiter did come back onto the field late in the first half. He did return after suffering that knee injury. We have yet to see the injury status of Ed Ingram. The 3 points in the first half for the Chargers in the first half are the fewest in the halves that they've had all season long. Speaks how good this Texans defense is. Matlock, the motion man. It is Hampton who goes down, thundering through Anderson. The 1-2 punch works all the way. And immediately it is 3rd down. Facing a situation in which they have their backs up against the wall. No chance to get any breathing room. And all across the board is Lakey Fotu as well. Linked up. 3rd and 4. Anderson on the edge. On the right side up against Pipkins. Hunter on the other side. Herbert looks. Pressure coming towards his face. He gets away, then gets it off, and pop free at the last moment by Bullock. Gadsden the target. And the rough day, which was already rough enough when he dropped that touchdown pass, possibly, which ended up being an interception by Al-Shaair, gets even rougher with Bullock popping the ball free from his grasp at the last moment. It was knocked away at the last moment, and Gadsden is in disbelief. And Herbert looked like he could have ran for it. Instead, Scott punts it off. Back deep is Noel at the 17-yard line calling for the fair catch. So Gadsden on the bad end of 2 crucial catches. The first one being a potential touchdown grab that could have put them within 3. The first 2 drives, the Texans have went for a total of 156 yards and 14 points. In the last 6, a total of 102 yards, no points. And of course, these are 2 elite defenses matching up, so we'd expect this to be a defensive showdown. 15 yards. They're at the 15-yard line in their own territory, shotgun set. The first play is Jawar Jordan. He just gets back to the line of scrimmage. Tossed aside by Tart. Deion Henley also there on the stop. And that leads to 2nd and 10. Now those 2 pass plays, 182 yards total, Oh my goodness. And of course, it settled in for the Texans and Chargers defensively that this is the defensive battle. Points are going to be earned against these two defenses. It's going to be a slugfest by all accounts. Here's Stroud who dumps it out for Dalton Schultz. Gets away from several defenders and has a block on the left side. Has the first down at the 30. And he's still in bounds. Did the ball stay in bounds? Was the ball picked up by Jefferson? Or was he down by contact? The ball was punched out, knocked away by Mack. The ball is rolling around, and it's out of bounds. Oh my, they let that one roll around. So Schultz, who fought he had the first down, had it punched out by Khalil Mack. It rolled out at the 21, so instead it's 3rd and 4. The Chargers blitz here towards the middle, knocked away by Dye. He stepped in to knock away a pass intended for Kirk to force a punt. A big play by Troy Dye on the middle. To force a punting situation was a angle route by Kirk. Dye was there for the knockaway. Really good play. And a really good knockaway really good strip by Khalil Mack. The ball just bounced out of bounds so slightly. Townsend boots it. Deep is McConkey. From the 25, he'll return it. The initial block from Leonard, he shakes off of it. Reinforcements come in. Brought down at the 29, gets a couple of yards. Man, back and forth these two defenses go. 11:46 left in the third. We will return in a moment. We're back here at SoFi Stadium, and there are 6 players on the Packers listed as questionable with an illness tonight. Malik Willis, Christian Watson, Sean Ryan, Aaron Banks, Xavier Williams, and Bo Melton. And everyone knowing that this game brings a lot of playoff implications for both sides. Houston gets them of a win, as they could claim the last wildcard spot. It can knock the Colts out the playoffs. The Chargers win, they'll be setting themselves up for an AFC West battle next week against the Broncos. 3 left and 1 right. With a shotgun set and Hampton motions. Herbert looking, running out of time, runs into some linemen, and brought down, mauled by Derek Barnett. Of course, we know about Harbaugh's Herbertisms, Pablo Picasso, the Minotaur, and Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. Of course, the Herbertisms as the lines of motivation. Of course, 2nd and 15. And of course, the Chargers' mission, should they choose to accept it, score a touchdown. Here's Herbert as he waits, and once again, it's been that type of day for Herbert. Derek Barnett back to back. This defensive line fighting their stride. A nice spin move by Barnett on towards the inside as he goes swimming here in Los Angeles. No quick throws from Herbert. I do remember what we saw last year in the wild card. It was back-to-back sacks, and on 3rd and forever, Herbert fouled Lab McConkey for touchdowns. History going to repeat itself here. It's going to dump it off to Marion Hampton. History will not repeat itself. He gets swarmed at the 25. And a nice job by the Houston defense. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's with all the pushing and shoving here? We've seen a lot of that. You remember Dalton Schultz was flagged for that shove on T.R. Tar in the first half. Fortunately, nothing more showed out of it. Bobby Hart was in the middle of it. It's going to be another punt for the Chargers in a day that's seen J.K. Scott be a busy man. Much busier than he anticipated to be. He'll boot this. And waiting is Jalen Noel. And he's not going to get a chance to return it. It goes out of bounds at the Texans sideline. And this penalty may be on the Charger side of the field. Oh. I don't know. What is the hold up? I don't think there's a flag thrown. So now we'll step away. The reaction when Justin Herbert shake his head sums up what's been going on for the Chargers. Texans ball when we return. The Texans have been all over the Chargers today. It's not the Hollywood movie that the Chargers wanted. In fact, it's far from it. What a nightmare day it's been for Justin and Herbert and company. So now the Texans start from the Chargers 47 because of a penalty on the last play. Hutchinson was in motion. Here is Woody Marks as he runs up through the left side. He gets 4 on the first run. What a nice run that was. That was not a penalty. That was a bad punt from J.K. Scott. 22 yards. It was out of bounds at the Charger 47. A bad punt from him. And that sets the Texans up in prime field position. 2nd and 6, single back. Again for the Texans. They move it quickly on a bootleg. Stroud looking and finds a man wide open. It's Collins. Collins bulldozes ahead of Bolden. Near the 10-yard line. Goes headfirst right onto him. He is amazing. Outstanding, as you say. 23 yards as he puts up headfirst on Elijah Molden and stays in bounds to get extra yardage. He's willing to take the risks, and he keeps his feet in. Leans headfirst right onto Molden for that extra push. Just a second catch. A total of 38 yards on both catches. Here's a jet sweep for Jalen Noel. And that's going to be interesting. 9 yards. A flag is down, I assume, for a hold. The penalty marker is at the 18-yard line. I get the feeling that hold is just what's going to call this back. Yes, it will. Collins. He set up that huge gain onto the red zone. It's going to cost the Texans some yardage. Nico Collins with a hold, which is an illegal form of a block, right on Tarheeb still. That got Noel extra yardage. That gave the edge to Noel. There's a lot of space there. 5th penalty of the game for the Texans, yet they're still at 14-3. 1st and 18. It's to the right. And a loss of 1 for Marks. And it looks like a face mask from Khalil Mack. They don't see it. Let's take a look here. Oh, it's a shoulder. No face mask. That tackle is legal from Tuipulotu. It's a shoulder turn from Tuli Tuipulotu, the first-time Pro Bowler and the emerging elite edge rusher for the Chargers. Having Khalil Mack opposite you more than helps. Ball at the Charger 29. Stroud looks. Dumps off right side for Kirk. And they go backwards again. Blown up by Tarheeb still. The last 3 plays have been a loss of yards. The holding penalty, the right side run for Marks, and the screen intended for Christian Kirk. It's 3rd and 23, and you would get the feeling that the Texans are going to go field goal here on throughout. You need to make something happen here. Kaimi Fairbairn does have a boot of a leg. Ball is at the Charger 33, empty set. Stroud will look, go short. Hutchinson trying to get as much as he can. He gets it to about the 23. Out comes Fairbairn for a field goal try. Fourth and 13. Of course, when you're in Charger territory this deep, of course, field goal will be the obvious choice. Cameron Dicker missed a kick. A surprise because he's the most accurate kicker in the NFL this season. 41 yards for Fairbairn from the right hash. The kick is up. And he placed this one perfectly. It is 17-3. Houston still leading. 6:04 to go here in the third quarter. And a good sight to see that Ed Ingram is back in the game. Chargers need to get going. They've been going sluggishly throughout. Of course, they know what's on the line. We'll be right back. The Chargers defense bent but didn't break in the end. They forced a field goal from Kaimi Fairbairn with 6:04 left in the third, but the offense has been stuck in neutral. It's not helping that they're running into a brick wall of a defense known as the Texans defense, best in the NFL. Fairbairn boots as far as he could. At the free, it's going to be returned by Patterson. Patterson all the way out to the 37. And the Chargers special teams all fired up with that excellent return. As we look at the next-gen stats, looking at Herbert and Hunter. Best defense in the NFL going up against an offensive line that's been so banged up. Going to shreds. And it's not helping that Ronde Gadsden dropped two crucial passes. And cost the Chargers a touchdown. On pressure, Herbert, 2 of 5, 24 yards and 1 interception. When not facing pressure, 9 of 11, 107 yards. Sacked 5 times on the day. Herbert takes off running. The Texans see that all the way. Limits him to 3 yards. Naquan Jones, who started as a member of the Chargers this season, now as a member of the Texans, brought him down 2 yards as Herbert was trying to escape the pressure from the Texans. This offensive line, known for being without Slater and Alt, is what's sadly going to overshadow all the success of this team. Close to 5 minutes left. It's 2nd and 8 for LA. Texans blitz here. Flag out. And Herbert munched up. But will this be a free play? Henry Tutu. Body at the sack. Could this be an offside? Yes. Will Anderson Jr. called for the offside. And Justin Herbert saw at the right tackle side that Anderson tried to get a quick jump right on Trey Pipkins on the blitz. Oof. That gets 3 extra yards. It's still 2nd down, but 2nd and more manageable. 2nd and 3. Wanted to dial up a shot. They tried to get him down. And that time, even though it went for a sack, it's positive yards for the Chargers because of Anderson jumping off sides. Another run from Hampton. Oh boy. Henry Tutu, who fought at the sack last time, he stops Hampton on 2nd and 3. It's a loss of 1. And of course, Hampton's play has been mitigated throughout the course of this game. It's been a familiar ending for Hampton on the day. The Chargers have not utilized any other running back. One can say that he's been utilized for almost every snap, if not every snap here. Herbert looks, gets away, steps up, fires, caught, 1st down at the Texans 40. Keenan Allen, Mr. 3rd down. Good protection that time with Austin Deculus filling in at the left tackle for Bobby Hart. And Herbert fires a sidearm spiral, getting into a small window right into Keenan Allen with both Petrie and Bullock watching. Allen from the slot, his usual bread and butter spot. He's been to a lot of these familiar places. 17-3. The score here in favor of the Texans. Herbert airs it on left side. Overthrown Johnston. He was back in the game. It's incomplete there. Kamari Lassiter back. Right on coverage. Trying to get the go route going. They have a lot of spacing, but he was well covered and out of bounds goes Johnston. 2nd and 10 with 3:32 left as the clock stopped on that incompletion. They're going back to Hampton. Oh my goodness, the ball was loose! But Herbert got onto it. Another mistake by the Chargers on a day filled with them. A routine play gone wrong. The ball was bobbled and Herbert fell on it as Hampton mishandled the handoff. It's been mistake filled. It's been mistake after mistake for the Chargers. They're 3 of 11 on third down. The Texans 3 of 9. It's been that kind of day. But you can expect that with these two elite defenses. Herbert steps up and it's going to take off and roll with it. Try for the first down. He gets there. Extra yardage into the red zone. Electric Justin Herbert by any means necessary. He will not go down that easily and leans over his shoulder. Get off me, he says to Derek Stingley Jr. You have Ladd McConkey as a blocker. He's good at shaking off contact. That's why you can never question his toughness. 2:14 left in the first. It's been 8, and that running has been a big part of what the Chargers need throughout the season. And Stingley Jr. is hurt. He's the reigning AFC Defensive Player of the Week. Down on one knee, being checked on by the Texans medical staff. And one of the best shutdown corners in the NFL. Just had Lassiter lead the game for a sequence. And now they're going to have Stingley lead the game for a sequence. He is still with his helmet. He jogs off on his own power. So he's going to stay in the game. He should return momentarily. But how about Ladd McConkey setting up the block right up front? Ooh. Yeah, Herbert laying the shoulder right on Stingley. That was what caused the injury to Stingley. It is Herbert laying the boom on Stingley. Lassiter takes over CB1 for the sequence. Dalton Schultz motioning left. Herbert swings out for Hampton. Hampton gets some blocks. Stiff arms on Lassiter. And gets 5 yards out of it. 2 minutes to go in the third. And he gets 2nd and 5 out of it. This might as well be the Chargers' best offensive drive of this game, considering all circumstances. A little shake and bake, and kind of look like a face mask right on Lassiter. Could also be a stiff arm. 3 yards, 4 rushes, 3 passes for the Chargers in this drive. It is normally a run-first offense under Harbaugh. That's what the Harbaugh teams are more about. Herbert rolls right, being chased. Herbert looks to the end zone. Broken up! Almost intercepted. Lassiter to coverage right on none other than Gadsden, who's been having a rough day today. Right as the night is beginning to fall. As the opening was there, Lassiter with excellent coverage and got a hand onto it. Could have been another interception. And he can't believe it. 3rd and 7. Lassiter's trying to get a play here for his guys. Herbert, running out of time, gets it up for Johnston with the catch at the 5. Flag is out. We'll have to check it. Herbert was wrapped up as he threw the ball right onto his legs. That's his toughness. The holding penalties declined. And yes, whenever you think that Herbert's running out of time, he gets more time, even when wrapped up. Not by his legs, but by his chest. It looked like he was going to get sacked. Nope. It was a wobbly pass nonetheless. But it was precise enough to get it onto the open Johnston. Now it's 1st and goal. First time we can say that all game long. Up the middle. Hampton. 4 yards. Just outside of the end zone. The end of the 3rd quarter comes after this next play, and you believe that there should be something that gets the Chargers a touchdown, a run play, preferably. You know how clutch the Chargers can be. The Texans trying to hang on here with their defense. Only a few guys can make stellar plays like Herbert does. Extra lineman here. It's going to be a play fake. Herbert throws to the end zone. Touchdown! Redemption from Gadsden. It looks like run at first, but Hampton sells the run. Justin Herbert finds the wide open Oronde Gadsden in the end zone with an extra lineman, Trevor Penning, out there for that formation. And Gadsden has to be feeling happy about that one after dropping 2 passes, one of them leading to an interception by Aziz Al-Shaair. This touchdown gets to within 1 score. The extra point is good. It's a 7-point game here at LA. 13 seconds to go in the third quarter. And don't you think about going just yet, because this is getting interesting. It can be we're so crazy when you have Snoop Dogg fielding a live kickoff on his own bowl. He's sponsoring the Arizona Bowl. And the crowd here at SoFi Stadium, which has been dormant for quite a while, has come alive here. The first touchdown of the day for the Chargers. A 1-yard touchdown pass from Justin Herbert to Oronde Gadsden. 13 seconds left in this third quarter. It's a 17-10 game. Return from the goal line by Tremon Smith to the 20. Starter steps ahead. He returns this back to the 25. 6 seconds left in the third. And more pushing and shoving here. And here, the drive of the game being Justin Herbert leading the way on a methodical drive. And that was led by his shoulder-leaning scramble. Leaning his way on Derek Stingley Jr. Says, "Get off me!" And then as he was wrapped up, fighting Quentin Johnston just when he was about to get sacked, turned that into a first down. CJ Stroud and company would love to get going here. Heading into the fourth quarter, 6 seconds left. Looks to be a running play, and it is. Jawar Jordan to the right. looking to get extra yardage, pushed ahead up some more, and 3 seconds, or 3 yards I meant. And at the end of the third, it's 17-10, Houston. Both defenses have feasted today. We anticipate this theme continue. Do the Chargers mount a comeback? Do the Texans hold on? The fourth quarter is next. The Chargers have already clinched a playoff spot with a win. They can be in position to win the AFC West next week at Denver. There is a shot where that happens. The Texans win. If the Texans win, they not only clinch the playoff berth, but they get the Broncos an AFC West title. The Chargers need to win out if they were to get the AFC West. Houston leads 17-10. They have the ball. 2nd and 7. Stroud lobs one up for Hutchinson. Short. He looked at it at the last moment. It's 3rd and 7. Houston's offense has slowed down a lot ever since that first quarter with the 2 deep strikes. Higgins and then Noel. Against man coverage, Stroud is 1 for 6, 15 yards, and an interception. One of the 2 interceptions that he threw. Crowd on their feet, thundering here. Trying to get onto the game. Trips left, 1 right. Marks is the running back. Higgins the motion man. Play clock down to 3. Chargers blitz on Stroud. Hit as he threw it. Goes to Noel. Overthrown. There is a flag, however. Hold your horses. They are saying it is roughing the passer. And fans are upset about the controversial penalty. And I'm meaning in terms of how it's implemented. The Chargers blitzed. Ooh. It looks like the body weight rule comes into effect here. Jesse Minter upset. And fans are... And of course, a few years ago, that would not have been flagged. That's the first penalty called on the Chargers all game. It took it 45 minutes and 9 seconds for that. Marks. About 3 yards. That was for the middle. To the 45.5-yard line. And that roughing the passer penalty gives the Texans new life on this drive. The body weight rule comes into effect with the way that Henley landed right on Stroud. That last drive was something that was a thing of mastery by Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Now we'll see how Stroud and company do. Kirk in motion. Double play fake, Stroud dumps off right and immediately wrapped up as Schultz. He was backed up, so it's just a gain of 1. So the 4 progress rule comes into effect. Taib still with the stop. It is 3rd down, a chance for the Chargers to prevail on defense again. They'll say no gain this time. Everyone on their feet. LA trying to steal the division from Denver with wins both this week and next week. Houston 3 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. LA 5 of 13. This is the 10th 3rd down. The Texans are facing trips left, 1 right, shotgun set. In motion left is Hutchinson as the Chargers blitz again. Stroud airing this out again. Wide of Collins. No flag this time. And this is now an interesting spot. Both Nico Reed and Still were in coverage. Still the 2nd-year corner from Maryland. Reed, the rookie out of Oregon. It was double coverage right on Collins. And at that time, the Chargers defense did what they had to do, putting Collins on double coverage. Tommy Townsend boots it over to Vlad McConkey at the far sideline. Takes a bounce towards the 3. Kept in play. Down at the 1. Nice special teams. Massive special teams play by Jamarcus Ingram and Tremon Smith. And the Chargers are going to have to go 99 yards to try to tie this up. been a different story for the Texans offense in the second half. Just a field goal being the only ones that they can go with. LA in a precarious spot. They're backed up at their own 1-yard line. Thanks to the special teams play from Jamarcus Ingram and Tremon Smith. They're going to say they're at their own 2. They have to go 98 yards. Motioning left is Gadsden. Herbert looking from his own end zone. Dumps off right side. Careful! And they roll him down at the half-yard line. Omarion Hampton dodged a bullet. The toe was right ahead of the line. Oh my goodness. He got away with that one. Henry 2-2 thought he had a safety. Instead, it's going to be 2nd and 11.5. There's nothing gone right for the Chargers in all their drives except the last one. Shotgun set. White walk down to 5, 4. Another pass. Herbert airs it out as far as he can towards the left. Well overshot. With Kamari Lassiter locking up Quentin Johnston. Now it's going to be a big 3rd down. Lassiter with excellent coverage and with the Texans' excellent field position trying to get a defensive stop. A sack here will result in a safety. And they cannot get tackled in the end zone either. One of the receivers. So in all likelihood, this cannot be a screenplay. Herbert's by himself, empty set. Nobody's helping him out to block him. The Texans send 4, and Herbert's going to get away with a rush. Gets it over to Gadsden for the 1st down. That's Disley, actually. Will Disley, the only other active tight end on the roster, but a flag is out. Did he cross the line of scrimmage? That's the question. Craig Rostad ruled that Herbert's foot was behind the line of scrimmage, but excellent protection by the Chargers. Yes, his foot was right behind the line of scrimmage, and it looked like a lateral pass. Great awareness from Herbert. He was holding the football, and he finds a way to get Disley. On 3rd and long, they get 18 yards. Jarrett Patterson, he gets 2 yards. That's the first handoff to a running back not named Omarion Hampton. The only other rush that's outside of Hampton or Herbert has been from Trey Harris. That's 1 yard from Patterson, who was the backup running back because of the injury to Kamani Vidal. Hampton has been used to all the big work. 2nd and 9. Herbert under pressure, 3 of 7, 31 yards. Interception and 5 sacks. Texans blitz here. Wallace comes in. Herbert airs it out. And that's incomplete. Keandre Lambert-Smith was the target. Lassiter looked like he was going to get an interception, but the ball was out of bounds. Houston does have a chance to win the division, but they also need to get help. Lassiter could not hold his in. Herbert was not on the same page as Lambert-Smith. 3rd and 9. 17-10. Houston leads. Johnson on the wide to the right, trips right, 1 left. Houston fakes the blitz. Herbert still running for his life, gets it off, and that's going to be complete, but well short. 2-0, right onto Hampton. And out comes J.K. Scott to punt again. It's been a very busy day for Scott, punter out of Alabama, and Matt Burke fired up by the performance his defense has been having. And a nice job by the special teams to help out the defense get better life that time. Scott to boot it. Deep is Noel. He's not going to return this one. It sails out of bounds. This time it goes better than the last time it went. But Jamarcus Ingram and Tremon Smith key on the last special teams play. Houston up 17-10 when we come back. seismic playoff implications here matter a lot. Texans win, they're in. Chargers win. Possible game 256 for the AFC West. That means if the Chargers win, that means in next week, Broncos win, they clinch the division. Chargers win, they clinch the division. Single back set at their own 45 are the Texans, with Stroud leading the way. Derwin James the blitzer, but it's Marks on the run. Marks, what a run! Diving for the first down, or close to it. 9 or 10. The Texans are 5-5 in one-score games this season. The Chargers are 6-1, but Houston has won 5 straight one-score games, including against Buffalo and Jacksonville. Two of the best teams in the AFC, and both that have locked themselves into a playoff conversation, given that they have already clinched a playoff spot. Schultz is the motion man left and right. Another run, and a first down this time. Woody Marks moves the chains. That was 3 yards on the right tackle side, and the Texans are in Chargers territory. Woody Marks picking up where Joe Mixon left off. Mixon out for the entire year as he spent it on the non-football injury list with injuries to his leg and ankle. Out for the entire year. Ball at the Charger 43. Another single back set. Marks is the running back. Another run to him. Evades the first man. Carried by James. Or he's carrying James, rather. And he gets 7 yards out of this one. Straightaway center. No problem. And up the middle, the gap created from on the B-gap side between Fisher and Patterson. And Jarrett Kingston also there as an extra lineman on this run blocking scheme. 1 or 3 rushing yards in this game for the Texans. Their defense limited the Chargers to 63 or 67 rushing yards. Motioning right is Schultz, and he motions back left at the tight end spot. And as a blocker, flag is out immediately, and I think this is going to be a free play. Let's see who this is up against. It might be an offsides against LA. Yes. Deshaun Hand lined up at the neutral zone. His batted ball led to an interception from Elijah Molden, or interception from Derwin James. The Texans are taking care of business offensively with runs instead of the deep passing game in the second half. Playing defensive football. That's what they do best. It's a free first down because there's enough yardage on an offside penalty. An offside penalty is not an automatic first down. Motioning right is Schultz, and he comes back left. Oh, blasted! Was the rusher coming off the edge. Oh, my goodness. Woody Marks was blasted right off the edge by Khalil Mack. Coming in unblocked, knowing that the run was coming. And a few more times, he will need to block him. That was a big play as Mack blasted Marks right on the handoff. A timely stop from Khalil Mack. 2nd and 14 as Hutchinson comes to the right of Schultz. Shotgun handoff, right side Jordan. Cuts the edge, past James, and James catches up to him. A nice run from Jawar Jordan for 9 yards. Derwin James caught up to him, and it's 3rd and 5. And James is a little banged up after that tackle, trying to keep himself upright. But the more you play the game, the more banged up you're going, and more pain you're going to feel. But no pain, no gain. Some of these fans are coming in with Junior Seau jerseys. 3rd and 5. And a timeout is called. Houston calls timeout as they did not like what they were seeing from the Charger defense. Stops the clock with 6:37 left. And the Chargers, with their elite social media game, and also, you know about their schedule release videos. One of their schedule release videos was on the Minecraft movie. The Texans clinch a playoff berth and they keep their AFC South title hopes alive with a win. The Chargers, with a win today, can win the AFC West with a win next week at Denver. That sets up the Week 18 battle. Win and you clinch the division between LA and Denver. Who could have seen this coming ahead of this season? 3rd and 5 coming up. And the Chargers showing blitz. The Texans counter with a max protection package if they can. Pressure's on. Stroud gets rid of it at the moment. And an incomplete pass. Nice job by the Chargers to dial up that blitz and limit the Texans to a field goal. With 6:33 to go. It's going to be a 2-score game nonetheless. But it's a max blitz. Everybody was covered along the B gap. The closest one to being open was Jalen Noel, and even he was covered by Nico Reed. The ball was slightly underthrown. Reed had the coverage. Kaimi Fairbairn, right hash, 44 yards. Kick is up. And he has put the Texans up by 10. 6:29 to go here in the fourth. And Houston leading the way. The Texans can clinch a playoff spot. They're looking at a playoff ticket punched if they can hang on to these final 6 minutes and 29 seconds. 2-4-2, it's Fairbairn. It's been the field goals, the name of the game for the Texans here in this second half. Oh, now things are getting interesting. Derek Stingley Jr., Will Anderson Jr., Nico Collins, and Azeez Al-Shaair are the Texans' Pro Bowl selections this season. This year's Pro Bowl selections for the Chargers are Joe Alt, Cameron Dicker, Justin Herbert, Derwin James, and Tuli Tuipulotu. Alt, however, is out for the year, so he is being replaced in the Pro Bowls. Dicker, Herbert, James, and Tuipulotu are in. Among those includes a full game of flag football. Of course, Pro Bowl's about fun. Kaimi Fairbairn to boot this away. Did he kick this one out of bounds? No, he didn't. A little spin here to the 2. And coming out is Patterson. Tried to sidestep and is met at the 25 by Speed. E.J. Speed, the former Indianapolis Colt. Jump from one AFC South team to another AFC South team. Keenan Allen and Ladd McConkey have combined for just 1 catch and 17 yards. That catch coming from Allen, who was targeted 3 times. McConkey has not been targeted today, despite 4 of the passes thrown towards Quentin Johnston's way. Sometimes when you take away the big play threats, you take away the dynamics of the offense. And that's what the Texans are doing to the Chargers. Herbert, straight drop back. Steps up and fires a bullet. Wide open. McConkey. First target, first catch. "31 yards on the catch to the Bulldog. It looks like an out and up route, which it is for McConkey. His excellent route running gets his ability to get open on any which way. He knew that he was going to be cut off on the post route, so he sells the post. Herbert dancing and gets away. Herbert wrapped up. 3 yards he was limited to by Anderson. 5.5 to go. The Chargers must get a score by any means necessary. 2nd and 8, as he got 2 yards out of that. They're going hurry up here. Trey Harris is out. Danico Autry, a late substitution. And Sheldon Rankins has to get out. What's going on? And the Texans are making substitutions. Chargers fans upset because they cannot snap the ball off to draw the 12-man on the field penalty. Hampton tackled inbounds by 202. Nice job there to keep him inbounds and keep the clock rolling. And limiting him to a gain of just 1. And that's why he's valued as a member of this Texans defense. Oof. And knowing that hip drop rules, if that's not going to be enforced, then why have the rule at all? 2 yards, the limit for Hampton by 202. 3rd and 6. 4.5 minutes to go as Johnston motions right. Herbert, straight drop back, being pressured, trying to get away, cannot! Flag is down, however. McConkey is pointing at it, and it looks like this could be a first down for the Chargers. Who knows? Hunter thinks he has a sack. The flag is 20 yards upfield. Yes, it is on the Texans. Illegal contact on Jalen Petrie. And the eye on the sky doesn't lie one bit as McConkey drew contact from Petrie way too far down the field as it's beyond the 5 yards past the line of scrimmage for that pass to make. 6 sack of the game was nullified. 6 sack of the day. 2 left and 2 right for the Chargers. Look to be early movement. Herbert up the middle. Gaston! First and goal! 25 yards for the rookie. He's coming alive at the right possible time. LA is set up nicely to draw in 1 score. Up the seam with Herbert going to the wide open Gadsden. To the 10-yard line. Going fast here. Herbert to the end zone. Incomplete. Right off of Keenan Allen. Derek Stingley Jr. was there. Trying to go back shoulder fade right on Keenan Allen, who tried to catch with one hand. Missed it a little high. He went right onto him. 2nd and goal. As the Chargers trying to get a crucial touchdown. They have all 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning. Here's 2nd and goal from Herbert. Steps away from the pressure. Rolls right, buying time. And he runs out of time. Kayvon Wallace. If they wanted to look for a sack here, they got one. Wallace called up for the practice squad. It looks like there's a flag in the end zone that may wipe away that sack. Oh boy. It's not going to be pass interference. It's just going to be holding right on Allen. Sting, we held him up. It sets up the Chargers first down at the 5-yard line. 1st and goal. The penalty against Stingley. After the matter of fact. 5-yard line. 3 right, 1 left. Shotgun set. Motioning left Johnston. Herbert to throw it. Everybody's covered. Looking for someone over the middle. And stumbling was McConkey. Incomplete. Through the middle. He had him. He knew he was there, but McConkey stumbled in the end zone. Not a good sign. He had an open look from the right-hand side and found all that space at the back of the end zone. Oof. A late movement onto the left. Oof. A miscommunication between Herbert and McConkey. 2nd and goal, 3:40 to go as the clock stopped at that point. They're going to hand it off to Hampton. Hampton runs it in for the touchdown. After a rough day all day long Marion Hampton finds pay dirt on his 14th rush. And what a drive by the Chargers. Stay alive in this game. It is not over yet. The Gadsden catch made things easier for the Chargers to get things going. It'll be Dicker for the extra point. Kick is up. Oh, he missed it! Oh my goodness! Wide left, a flag is down. So wait a minute. Well, so the offside penalty is enforced. The penalty is declined. And Dicker, who was named to the Pro Bowl, missed a field goal and missed an extra point on the same game. So now it's 20-16. And instead of a field goal, the Chargers need a touchdown. Can you believe that? What in the wide world? And the littlest mistakes by the Chargers might be costing them at the end. And of course, the team game, you do not want to see anyone make mistakes here. And Dicker, who's normally been reliable thus far, has inadvertently been an Achilles heel today. And that's 4 points off the board for the Chargers on the two Dicker misses. And of course, those Dicker would love to have those two kicks back. He boots this one to the far side. This will be returned from the 2-yard line. Taking it over towards the middle to the 26 or the 25. Jalen Noel at that spot, and CJ Stroud will come in from that moment. The Texans can get a few first downs to seal the deal. It is 20-16. Texans lead. Texans win. They clinch the playoffs and eliminate the Colts from the playoffs. Cade Stover is the second tight end. He's out on the field. Jared Kingston is an extra lineman. Stroud 1 for 8, 15 yards, and interception against man coverage. But you assume they're going to run the football here throughout. The Chargers are using their run defense here. Woody Marks runs left and gets onto his knees. Jim Harbaugh is going to call a timeout with 3:28. Justin Herbert and the Chargers hanging on for dear life. Those missed scoring opportunities stemming from a Gadsden drop, leading to an Al-Shaair interception. Then Dicker with a missed field goal, wide right. And then Dicker misses an extra point wide left. Ouch. That's just a handful of the miscues for the Chargers on the day. If the Chargers come back, there might be some players that could be considered on the chopping block. 2nd and 10. The Chargers have not won a division titles in 2 decades. Chargers playing the run defense. Stroud's going to pass it towards the middle. Wide open. Nico Collins to the 46. A big time catch by Nico Collins. Whenever they need a big catch from any of the receivers, he is there. The big body receiver has been Stroud's go-to man on all situations. And even without Tank Dell, he's been the big play guy. 3 catches, 57 yards. And while it's been an off day for him, Collins has been the go-to man. Expect a running play here, you would think, from their own 45. It is a running play. The Chargers see it the whole way. Immediately a timeout from Harbaugh. Jamari Caldwell. The tackle for loss is a loss of 2. The Chargers take their second timeout. with 2:37. So they're down to their final timeout and a 2-minute warning. You're trusting your defense to get a stop here, to get the takeaway, to set yourselves up for the game-winning drive. If you're the Chargers, you need to go for a touchdown. A field goal is not going to cut it by any means anymore after the Cameron Dicker miss on the extra point. Loss of 2 for the Texans on the last play. It is 2nd and 12. This is where the heavier packages come in. And this is one of those heavier packages. Schultz and Stover out there. Right side, it is Marks. And the Chargers stop him. The final timeout called by the Chargers now. 2:32 to go. And once again, the Chargers needing a stop. The Chargers trying to cling on to their slim division title hopes now. A first down conversion means the Texans head to the playoffs. Colts are out. Broncos win the AFC West. Of course, that's what we all know so far. The Chargers needing one more stop. 3rd and 9. The AFC West could be decided on this one play. Woody Marks is the running back. Dalton Schultz the tight end to the left of Stroud. There are 3 receivers out there on the field. Stroud's going to pass. Being chased by Owe, and he goes down! A flag, however, is in the secondary. The Chargers are celebrating. We'll see the penalty. Oh my. Tarheeb Still, who was one of the heroes for the Chargers last year, an ill-advised illegal contact penalty as he locks up on Christian Kirk, touching him up. Ooh. The arms initiate the contact. That is a gut punch. Ooh, that is a call that the Chargers, if they're going to win the AFC West, that may have just killed off their hopes. They were penalized just 3 times on the day, but that may have been the killing blow. My goodness. This is a run for Marks, and Marks fouls on Molden. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning because the Chargers are out of timeouts. Nice gain of 8 yards from the rookie running back out of USC. Stroud was somewhat of a sitting duck on the previous play, but with that penalty on Still, it did not matter. We're at the 2-minute warning. One more first down, and that sends the Texans to the playoffs. 20-16 they lead here in the 4th quarter. That was a massive penalty from Tarheeb Still. Illegal contact on Christian Kirk. The two of them were beyond the 5-yard requirement for any contact to be made. For that contact to be made. And if it's within 5 yards, then the contact is legal. But because Still and Kirk were beyond the 5 yards past the line of scrimmage, it is an illegal contact penalty. Chargers load up the line to prepare for the run from Marks. 2nd and 2. Woody Marks for the middle. He got it! And the Texans are going to the playoffs. Back from the dead. From 0-3 to 11-5. D'Amico Ryans' Houston Texans putting up the most impressive season of this current era. That means Indy is out. Denver has won the AFC West. Head first as he drove through. CJ Stroud has saw the playoffs in the first 3 years of his career. All he needs is 2 kneel downs. There's the first one. The celebration is on in Houston. And they're also celebrating in Denver. The AFC West, for the first time since Peyton Manning won on the Super Bowl in his final season, the Broncos have won the AFC. Has won the AFC West. The Colts out too, and the last playoff spot will be decided either tonight or tomorrow. And this second kneel down will do it. Houston, we have landed to the playoffs. We could be seeing these two teams again in the postseason, but who knows? That all comes down in the coming weeks. The Broncos are celebrating. The Texans are celebrating. As we now go on to our final stats. Total yards, 362, 275 Texans. CJ Stroud finishes 16-28 for 244 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. Nearly 150 of those yards have come within the first 4 passes that he threw. Woody Marks, 19 carries, 71 yards. Jawar Jordan, 8 carries, 36 yards. Jaden Higgins, 2 catches for 88 yards and a touchdown. Nico Collins, 3 catches, 57 yards. Jaylen Noel, 3 catches, 54 yards. Dalton Schultz fumbled the ball. The ball landed out of bounds, however. The pass defense, 1 each from Kamari Lassiter, Azeez Al-Shaair, Jalen Petrie, Derek Stingley Jr., and Kalen Bullock. That's 5 pass defense by the Texans. Houston's recorded 5 sacks on the game. 2 from Derek Barnett, 1 each from Danico Autry and Daniil Hunter, and 1 split between Will Anderson Jr. and Sheldon Rankins. Al-Shaair is the only interception for the Texans in this game. While for the Chargers, 21-32 from Justin Herbert, 1 touchdown and 1 interception. Omarion Hampton, 14 carries for 29 yards and a touchdown. Quentin Johnston, 5 catches, 98 yards. Aronde Gadsden with 3 catches, 32 yards and a touchdown. Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen each combined for 2 catches for 48 yards. Both players have had quiet days. Justin Herbert fumbled the ball twice. He's recovered both of them. But the Chargers have got an interception of Derwin James Jr. and Elijah Molden. No sacks from the Chargers on the day. It's the Texans defense that's held firm today at LA. 20-16, your final score. The Texans are going to the playoffs. The Broncos have clinched the AFC West. That's going to do it, everyone. I am Alec Nava saying so long from SoFi Stadium. Good night, everyone.